Good morning. I'm Mark Coleman, National Business Development Manager of Smart Solution Yorkland Controls Limited. Welcome to PM Springfest and welcome to the opportunity to talk to you about operationally efficient buildings in the time of COVID, how to manage facilities optimally while providing healthy spaces and using smart IoT technologies. We're going to take you through a number of presentations today in our short demonstration of 30 minutes. However, we're not going to get into an in-depth study or detail of this, but I will share with you an overview and you can speak to us later should you wish and ask for further information. Please feel free to send me a message in the chat as we're talking, and I will respond to messages after the presentation. So what are the impacts of COVID on a building's energy use? What are some of the top industry recommendations for energy conservation while achieving a healthy building score? We're going to talk about some of the measures that we recommend, such as smart IAQ sensors, algorithms, analytics to benchmark facilities, pinpoint anomalies, real-time occupancy data through smart people counting sensors, asset management to ensure total transparency and awareness of service operation procedures, and service schedules for air delivery systems, facility janitorial services. So I'm going to take you through this, and please feel free to reach out with comments as we go through. Looking at COVID-19 and the healthy building impact, there are many recommendations out there. We have the CDC, World Health Organization. We have HRAI, we have BOMA, we have a number of other organizations giving us lots of recommendations. Essentially, we want to get from an indoor air quality impact on the left to a positive health building score on the right. We have studies from Harvard University talking about particulates, especially with the impact of COVID-19 attaching itself to particulates and getting into facilities and getting into the space that you're in. We have the National Post talking about how COVID-19 can be spread by building ventilation through your HVAC system. We have New York Times talking about the link between deaths of particulates and death rates from the disease. So air quality is paramount to a healthy building environment. Just this week, World Health Organization, the CDC, have acknowledged the risk of airborne transmission indoors. We've known it, but they finally come out and told us this. It may seem like a small step, as I said, but we feel it's important to leave no doubt about the position, given the immediate support for ventilation and filtration as important tools in the effort to stop the pandemic. From the head of ASHRAE, an epidemic task force chair. So we can see there's opportunity for us to do things, and we know exactly where the impact of COVID-19 is on a facility. It does leave us with a challenge. Now, indoor air quality overrides all else, without a doubt, but indoor air quality in a pandemic is a challenge. Energy optimization in a pandemic is a challenge. So what can we do about it? Yorkland Controls, from our website, you can download and look at a practical guidance for building HVAC and controls operation. So we can look at how to optimally run the facility, operate the facility. So let's take a little bit about how to balance the building operations for a bit. Keep in mind, indoor air quality overrides all else. So what are some of the targets that we want to look at and achieve? This is a really important slide. We have total VOCs, volatile organic compounds, respiratory particles, particulate matter, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, relative humidity. These are some of the targets that we want to try to achieve to maintain and balance building operations. And then you have some of the other impacts of COVID-19 on a building's energy use. We can start balancing our building a bit better by looking at positive building pressure. Ensure that the air entering the building comes in through the ventilation system is properly filtered. Reduce moisture and air infiltration. Monitor and trend building pressure. These are some of the things that you can do to optimally run your facility during this type of environment. What other types of things can you consider? We can start looking at the ventilation systems and start looking at outdoor air. Keeping in mind, and as we look at this, we can look at some demand control ventilation strategies, and they can be reviewed. Although it's recommended that you disable them from demand control ventilation, you may want to enable them if you know the exact occupant count. And we'll get into that a little bit later about how we can work and deal with that. We can consider converting mixed air systems to run 100% outdoor air. We can look at the economizer section. We can look at the VAV systems. We can look at your outdoor air capacity. As I said, this is not an in-depth study, but we do have a number of recommendations here that you can read through at a later date to understand how to better balance your building operations. Keeping in mind two key points from this slide: retro commissioning and recommissioning. That can be done both in an indoor air quality event and during a non-indoor air quality event. We can look at filtration UVC. When you're unable to bring in air from the outside, when you need to recirculate that air, you're going to want to filtrate and use UVC. When you want to reduce the particulate matter, you want to filtrate. The other impact that we can look at, recommended from the Yorkland Controls pandemic guideline, is relative humidity. Relative humidity, 40 to 60% has been recommended. Also remember that in Canada, in winter times, it may be quite difficult to provide a relative humidity between 40 to 60% and extremely costly. So as I just mentioned regarding filtration UVC, this may be an opportunity where you can use more of that to help achieve it. So we've looked at the practical guidance for building HVAC and operations during a pandemic. We've looked at some of the building balance and building operations as recommended from Yorkland Control guidelines. Let's look at a few more recommended by the industry, and then we'll start getting into a healthy score dashboard. Energy optimization while striving for building health. ASHRAE's guidance on the design, operation, and maintenance of heating, ventilation, air conditioning systems to reduce the danger of pathogen transmission through the air. Analytics can complement indoor air quality. So if we look at an indoor air quality event, things you can consider: ensuring fault detection diagnostics are working properly, especially systems and device equipment associated with achieving 100% outdoor air dampers, mixing plenum, fan speed, and duct pressure. All analytics can give visual indication on a building health dashboard. Remember, you can pull that data through. Similar in your fault diagnostics, apply to humidification systems, pressurization, filtration, and temperature. And especially use your analytics component to monitor CO2, particulate levels, VOCs. On a non-indoor air quality state, when you don't have any of these issues occurring, you still want to run your fault diagnostics on the system to ensure proper operation. Operational schedule matching is extremely important. Ensuring the equipment is running when it's supposed to be running. So these types of things can help you with energy optimization, both during an indoor air quality event and when there's not one occurring. So some of the other ASHRAE guidance why you want to achieve energy optimization: more outside air, airflow control, enhanced filtration, humidification, building control sequence if operation changes, and applying new technologies and some advanced sensors, which we'll get into here very shortly. Some of the other response measures available: increase ventilation to reduce recirculation air back in the space. So you turn off demand control ventilation if it's practical. A major concern is ability to maintain space conditions. As I mentioned, cold climate issues to keep space at comfortable temperatures and humidity may be difficult in northern climates. And low cost means potential increase in outdoor air to clean the cooling and heating coils to recapture lost heat transfer, ensuring that your system is working efficiently. All part of the building environment. So what are some of the other additional response measures that we can provide through Yorkland Controls? Let's have a quick look at some smart IAQ sensors and algorithms, especially IAQ Index score. Let's look at analytics to build benchmark facilities and pinpoint anomalies toward the healthy building, real-time occupancy data through smart people counting, and some asset management to ensure total transparency and awareness of service operations procedures. So let's get into the first one: measure an IAQ for building health. As you can see, there are a number of technologies that today allow you to provide indoor air quality measurement: temperature, humidity, CO2 levels, particulate matter, VOCs, total VOCs. The capability exists now today that you can have all of these into one and provide a healthy index score. You can pull that back through, pull it into the one sensor, build your own dashboard, and then start giving this information back to your tenants, back to your staff, back to your employees, making them aware so they're aware of what's going on. and you can provide that peace of mind that you are providing an indoor air quality score that achieves your healthy building that you're looking for the building environment. Other response measures recommended. Data analytics and the role in operation HVAC systems. We discussed this a little bit earlier in some of the recommendations and guidelines. Track building operation performance to confirm proper functioning and identification deviations, the role of data analytics. You can monitor temperature and humidity levels and inform operators of deviations from the desired performance. That's critical. Monitoring indoor air quality is measured by CO2, VOC, and other sensors. You can use analytics to help provide you information when there is a fault or an issue occurring with respect to the indoor air quality, with respect to the energy operation of the facility. You can monitor the performance and servicing of air filtration, pressurization of ducts and spaces. Take that data, collect it, and apply it to other systems. Analytics will be key to both reducing energy reduction in an environment during an indoor air quality event and when there is an indoor air quality event. So you can, as I said, you can pinpoint anomalies towards the health of building. You'll be able to help with fault diagnostics, energy conservation, measurement and verification, instantaneous reporting of greenhouse gas and energy conservation measures. That's kind of an overview of what some of the analytics can do for you with respect to your facility during indoor air quality issues and non. This chart is an ASHRAE expectant life expectancy chart, and I've added this to identify if you're not running your facility properly, if there's problems with equipment, it is going to have an impact on the life of your ASHRAE piece of HVAC equipment, whether it's in a pandemic situation or not. You certainly don't want to have equipment running 24/7 when it's not supposed to be, equipment overworking and reducing that life expectancy. One of the biggest factors is there's energy concern to be had here. There's also impacts on controlling for your quality indoor air quality environment. But the last thing you want to do is take capital dollars, which may be a struggle to achieve in this current environment that we have, and replacing capital equipment, such as an HVAC unit, because of premature wear and operation that's reduced life expectancy. Fault diagnostics and energy analytics can certainly help with this. So let's get into one other area. Let's talk about real-time occupancy data through smart people counting sensors, integrated to indoor air quality control. As you can see, we can look at a binary and a non-binary event. On the left, we have the ability to go into technologies that allow us to count the dynamic, actual real-time measurement of people in the space. And then from there, we can determine exactly how many CFM that we need per person in that space. As the count increases or reduces, we can increase or reduce the CFM to ensure that we have a quality indoor air environment. On the right, we can use technology to do analytics and provide us an occupancy within a network of a facility to know if there's a space that's just occupied, unoccupied. With both of these systems, we want to ensure that operationally that we have the occupancy of the space connected to the runtime of the equipment that provides the indoor air quality for that space. If there's a mismatch, we're going to start having energy issues. And we certainly don't want to have that. This is one way to avoid or get it to the absolute minimum to run your facilities optimally. So let's start looking at a little bit more into the people counting with that side. You'll get increased energy savings, increased occupant air quality, and with COVID-19, it provides opportunity to increase ventilation per person, as I mentioned, while avoiding increase in energy costs. You want the lower the occupancy, the lower the ventilation, the lower the energy cost to achieve that. So let's have a quick look and see what that would look like. So now we're going to run a short video that shows this is the information that you'll see when you're actually doing live people counting. The intent here and the idea is to ensure that when as people are going, you're not collecting any privacy data, there's no other issues with that, and you're actually getting a live count. And so we'll run to and have a look at from this going forward. So as we see the next slide, response measures recommended. Some of the other things we can start looking into is asset management. And I'll tie a few of these together. Asset management is relatively new with respect to what we're doing here, and it gives you the total transparency and awareness of service operation procedures for your air delivery systems. You want to ensure that you have complete accountability and complete visibility on how you manage your assets, service your assets between the owners, the service provider, and the end users. So the CEO of Built Space, Rick Wilson, said the foundation of smart building is data. And he said they've made it easy and affordable for buildings of any size to collect and organize data from individual facility assets and the activities of people. We believe that this information empowers building owners to optimize their operations while improving the health of their indoor spaces. Some of the response measures recommended. Built Space as an analytics tool, a scalable cloud-based digital solution. It ensures proper procedural compliance and data sharing at a common touch point with the QR code activated mobile application. So you can use an asset management tool to identify when there's problems, perhaps when the filtration has not been done as part of the analytics to ensure that you're getting the indoor air quality that you wish based on the frequency of change of the filtration, and provide this automatically, hands-free, touchless between an analytics tool and an asset management tool. Some other response measures recommended. Just recently, as a bit of a case study on this, Bentall Green Oaks, a leading Canadian real estate services firm, is partnering to implement cloud-based technology with Built Space Technologies. And it tracks maintenance activities and communicates safety measures to tenants as they occur. So currently, property managers face heightened pressure to increase building efficiency, enhance safety, and communicate with employees such as tenants and vendors entering the building. As I mentioned, Built Space, a scalable cloud-based digital process management platform, ensures procedural compliance and data sharing at common touchpoints with QR code activated mobile application. So according to Bentall Green Oak property manager Kevin Sultani, Built Space sets a new standard for the accountability and tenant communication. So using a phased approach, Bentall Green Oak will place QR codes in high traffic, high touch locations at common areas. Janitorial staff can use a mobile device to confirm cleaning and safety procedures. Phase 2 will include the implementation of tenant suites. Tenants and guests can activate Built Space QR codes in real time to see how and when the janitorial staff last clean spaces. This application also applies to HVAC equipment, applies to your building operations, anywhere where you have the opportunity to provide service and maintenance of equipment to ensure proper operation and proper adherence to indoor air quality. So just want to go through in an appendix of some of the other smart IoT solutions the Yorkland Controls is recommending that we're using with respect to maintaining healthy buildings and energy conservation. As we shared in the presentation, we've talked about feedback solutions, occupancy data used to provide demand control ventilation energy savings, as well as a dashboard to identify the number of occupants in the building and provide you that occupancy intelligence so you can start making smart decisions with respect to indoor air quality. Built Space to help provide you visibility on your systems, how they're being maintained, the assets being used, and to ensure full transparency between the service providers, the owners, the tenants, the staff, that the indoor air quality impacted work is being completed and being completed on time. An analytics tool, SkySpark, find out what matters, automatically transfers energy, equipment, and buildings and data, meaningful and actionable information. This technology is going to help you look at the energy component both in indoor air quality situations and non-indoor air quality events. It is a tool that can help provide information into other systems when there's a fault or a diagnostic type problem. One of the other challenges that we're seeing in a healthy buildings and energy conservation is to provide a buildings platform, or call it a middleware, that allows you to take your entire portfolio without replacing it and taking those capital costs to do so. Working with the technology like Fin in a framework or FinStack allows you to keep your existing systems, build a building operations platform, and then start enabling some of the indoor air quality type of applications that I presented here today. It saves capital dollars from replacing existing systems. We have other solutions provide you connections to network this together. The operational technology that we've discussed here. If you need to need support on doing that, we can help you with making recommendations on how to get your operational technology network connected together. As I mentioned, some of the lighting systems have changed to Bluetooth embedded technology, LED systems that will allow you to build a network across your facility through your lighting system, which didn't previously exist before, allow you to do asset management for Bluetooth embedded technology component connection, and pull in some of these sensors that I mentioned that may be indoor air quality sensors across the facility. With the digitally enabled facilities that exist today, perhaps it's through the lighting system or other systems that you have in your building. Energy, if you're going to start looking at energy savings and energy conservation, you're going to need to have accurate energy measuring. With one of our partners, IAQ Energy, you're able to put in energy meters and energy technology to find out the actual use, to do your comparison, to identify, are you improving, or is this a challenge that you need to focus in on? And some of the other solutions that we look at in a healthy indoor environment in the healthcare industry is TriTech and our laboratory solutions that we have there. We have other solutions provide IoT sensors, build your network so they're completely wireless. Within an indoor air quality situation or an environment that we're in, we certainly don't want additional physical labor in the facility and trying to get access for it. Anything we can do wirelessly certainly is beneficial. There's obviously cost savings that go in with wireless as opposed to hardwiring some of the technologies in. Other organizations, Honeywell, Johnson Controls, provide digitally enabling technologies that allow us to build that building platform so we can turn around and enable some of these technologies that will help you with your environment when we're trying to do energy conservation and indoor air quality at the same time. You can reach me. My contact information is here. I'm National Business Development Manager for Smart Solutions for Yorkland Controls. And I've given you a quick overview and presentation showing you what you can do in a pandemic environment with indoor air quality, energy conservation, how to balance the two, some of the technologies you can use to build a dashboard. And if you wish to chat and discuss even more, reach out to us and we can start sharing some of the options that you can achieve and do once you've identified, I do have an indoor air quality situation. How do I reduce it? I do have an energy situation. How can I make changes that will limit and optimally give me the energy savings I need while maintaining my indoor air quality score that I want to achieve? I thank you for your time. Please reach out to us and communicate any questions you have through chat or come see us at the PM Springfest. Thank you and have a great day.